Hello students, I'm Dr. Charu Sharma and today we are going to introduce you to the topper of AIAPGET 2019, Dr. Karthik. Dr. Karthik is doing his post-graduation from All India Institute of Ayurveda in the Department of Kamarvritte. Over to you, Karthik.
Namaskaram everyone. Very happy to be a part of Ayurveda School of Ayurveda. And introducing myself, my name is Karthik KP and I've graduated from Kerala in a college called Government Ayurveda College, Tripunithura. And um,
And what inspired you to go for post-graduation in Ayurveda?
in fact, our college, it has a school of thought which is, almost purely Ayurvedic in its diagnosis as well as treatment. And we have even a school based on the guna approach. And when I was doing my graduation, actually I always wished if I could take it forward or uh, maybe propagate it. So the best way to do that was to be an academician, and to validate it was to be a researcher. And even while doing my graduation, I came to know Vaidyapusham K. Raghavendra sir, who has been accepted as one of the master healers by Ayush the past year. So even his school has inspired me a lot, so as to think different and to act different. So these were the factors that always influenced me. And to be an academician, you always had to had a post graduation, and to be a researcher, of course, you need to have a PhD. So
Okay, so
these were the reasons.
you wanted to excel in the three domains of academics, research, and clinics as well.
Maybe in more of academics and research.
Okay, so that's very interesting, Dr. Karthik. And the next question that I'm going to ask you, why did you choose this particular subject? What was your idea behind choosing? Because you were All India Rank One, you had the opportunity to choose any college, any subject, but why this particular subject?
Yeah, the reason why I chose Kaumarapritya, there are a multitude of factors. I would say a few. The first one is that Kaumarapritya, as it is a subset of Kaya Chikitsa. Maybe there are a few modifications of dosages, and maybe there are a few contraindications of drugs. And coming to Kaumarapritya, the most challenging area is of diagnosis, because the patient never comes with their symptoms to you. She shows Tikshnam, Apikshnam, cha, Rodana, Lakshaya, Drujam. You have to find out the disease from the mere symptom of a cry. So, the very challenging area of Kaumarapitya, of course, is diagnosis. And another aim why I chose Kaumarapitya is that I come from a place called Kerala, which has given immense contributions to the Kaumarapitya literature. Maybe Arogya Raksha Kalpadruma is familiar to all, but there are other beautiful granthas like Vaidya Taraga, Vaidya Jivana. So I also had an ambition so as to convert them from the vernacular language to the mainstream languages, so that the whole of Ayurveda fraternity can make use of them.
Okay.
And also, the current scheme of Kaumarapitya, the current scope of Kaumarapitya comes in the uh, management of Yapia to Asatya diseases like autism, ADHD, and I also wished if we could extend the spectrum to even the acute cases, because the textual knowledge is mainly focused on such diseases, but the public is not well educated that Ayurveda can even manage acute pediatric conditions. So I had even a plan of educating the people about that.
Okay. When we were doing our internship in Kamarvita, we also had very interesting cases like Guillain-Barré syndrome and there was a Rett syndrome, and so these cases were like a complex disorder, and the patient is not able to say you a thing. You have to diagnose the whole condition, and you have to treat them accordingly. And even one of our teachers used to say that when you are a pediatrician, you are basically the Sherlock Holmes, because you need to identify the crime scene, you need to diagnose the condition, and then you have to go for it accordingly. And now, Karthik, we would like to know that what was your strategy for the preparation of this exam?
Yeah, before we start to learn, it's important to know what to learn and how to learn and when to learn. So, there is nothing called a universal plan which is applicable for every aspirant. So the first thing is that we have to recognize our strengths and weaknesses. And the plan which I followed, I shall say, the first 6 to 8 months, I had a period of voracious study where I had time to glance through all the Samhitas, maybe Bhava Prakash, Paishiji Ratnavali, even Kashyap Samhita. And in this period, I also made a note of all the topics which I covered. And in this portion, there is always a priority you need to keep in the spirit. So the priority which I gave was, first thing was Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, Vakpada, that is Ashtanga Sangraha and Hridaya, their Sutra Sthanas and Sharira Sthanas. And the next priority was to the final year topics like Shalya, Chalakya, Kaya, Panchakarma, and then comes Kaumara Prasuti, and then the second year topics, and finally the pending first year topics like Sanskrit, Padartha Vijnana, and so on. And coming to the next 2 or 3 months, you have to ensure multiple revisions of the portions you have covered in the past 6 months. So in this period, you have to also ensure that you maintain regular acquaintance with the portions of the Samhitas, that is the slokas, because knowing the slokas means you are that confident about the area. Even if there is an ambiguity, you are confident enough to challenge the question. So knowing slokas matters a lot. So I always ensured that I had regular revisions through the slokas also. And coming to the last 1 or 2 months, it is very important that we have to have a note of the points we are very weak in, or the portions which we do not know, because fine tuning on our strengths do not matter when it comes to the last round. It is very important that we improve on our weaknesses. So I also had a note of the points which I was weak to remember. So in the last month, I ensured revisions of those portions, and very occasionally I also glanced through the main revision scheme. And this was the strategy I pursued. And also, doing questions also is a very important part of the same. In the first part, always, until I completed a cycle of revision, I went through the subject-wise question papers. And once I completed the whole cycle of subjects, I started attempting year-wise question papers, applications, coaching centers question papers. So
Okay, so if I summarize your whole strategy, basically it was just not hard work; it was an immense amount of hard work. But along with that, there was a smart study that you were doing along with that, and there was a phase-wise development. That in the first phase you will be covering the most area that you can cover, and in the second was the filtration, that what you are very like what you know and what you don't know, or what anything that you are weak with, so you concentrated on your weakness as well. So that's a very good study plan. And okay, one more question that every student asks to a topper, like, ma'am or sir, aap kitna ghanta padhte the? So I would like to ask you that very golden question: how many hours do you used to study?
yeah, actually, the number of hours you spend in front of the book is not the only factor that influences your, maybe rank or even success in the career. Because, it also depends on the backup of education or backup of knowledge you have made in your undergraduate course. And coming to my case, I always try to recognize what my strength was and also what my weakness was. To give an example, my friend, a person, he had the habit of memorizing things in their pictorial mode. So coming to my case, it was the auditory stimulus that always worked on me, because I could memorize things when I heard them. So whichever note I made, I recorded them in my own voice, and I used to hear them whenever I got time. And it is also important that we do not waste the time we get. That in the final 1 or 2 months, I had the habit of attempting question papers while having food, and while having bath I used to hear the notes which were recorded. And the most important thing is to utilize the time we get. And I was not a full-time learner, because I also pursued a course in music in due time. So in the first 5 to 6 months, I found it very difficult to give my whole time to PG preparation. So it always depends on your strengths and the mode of study. And
Okay, it depends on the individual that
yeah,
how is he going to take up the schedule. And I would also like to tell that Dr. Karthik is a great classical singer, and obviously that comes up to a point that he connects to the music, he connects to the audio, so he was more comfortable with the auditory stimulus that he used to get. So he used one of his strengths for the preparation also. So that was a very smart decision of yours, and. Thank you, Dr. Karthik, for being here with us, and it was a very nice experience. Let's wish you all the success in the coming years of life, and we see you as a very great academician and a researcher as well.
thank you all. Thank you, Ayurveda, and thank you all the aspirants, and wishing you all the best for the coming PG exam as well as your future career. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.